Okay, let's do this fucking shit.
That out of the way and give a quick shout out to HKA USA. Go to hkausa.com, check out their stuff. They support Fight Book MMA and a bunch of fighters. So go and buy their shit. Right on, guys. Zone, MMA TV, ESPN Plus, and Fight
give
TV,
a quick shout out
Pro
to
Combat,
HKA USA,
and of course our
HKA
friends over there
USA.com.
at XFN. Big shout out to them. They have an upcoming event here pretty soon. And we're going to do the show a little bit different. We do have a guest lined up today, none other than UFC vet Smiling Sam Alvey. We're going to be talking to him about his next and fight that he has coming up, and some other news that he can talk to us about. Right? We'll get into it with him here in a little bit. There he is. How's it going, Sam?
Doing wonderfully. How are you, sir?
We are doing great. Let me do a quick intro. Everybody that's watching and or listening, let's welcome UFC vet, Smiling Sam Alvey. Welcome to the show, brother.
Hey, thank you for having me on, sir.
Dude, it's a pleasure. I know David reached out to you, and when he told us that you wanted to jump on, I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
For a second there, I thought we had Chris Pratt jumping on with us, man.
Oh. Easy blue.
Right on. Sam, again, welcome to the show, man. You got an upcoming fight here in the near future.
Yeah.
You're going to be, what is it, the B2 Fighting Series, right?
B2 Fighting Series. It'll be live on Fight TV, FITE TV, and FUBU, actually, too, which is kind of cool.
Right on, man. But talk to us about your opponent, man. Do you know much about him and what you're going to be able to bring to the table?
Yeah. So I've been trying to fight since my last one. My last one was my 25th fight with UFC. We decided not to resign, partially because they didn't offer me the opportunity, but we didn't resign with the UFC. So I broke my jaw, but I've been looking to fight as soon as I could. I got into. I tried fighting in Russia. I tried fighting in Abu Dhabi. I tried fighting just about everywhere. And nobody would accept the fight. I accepted fights on 2 weeks' notice. I accepted a fight on Christmas Day in Russia on 2 weeks' notice. It was crazy. And then they say, no. So you're all scared of me. So I started looking locally. And I was having a hell of a time finding anyone to fight me. So I said, listen, I'll fight heavyweight if it helps. So I talked to B2. They were actually the last promotion I fought with prior to going to the Ultimate Fighter was B2. So I hit them up and they said, we would love to have you back. I commentate with them too. So it worked out real well. They got me a guy named Cameron Graham. He's a heavyweight because that's all. I mean, I got to give up like 40 pounds to find someone willing to fight me because I'm a scary guy. Don't let the smile fool you.
Yeah.
And so I'm fighting heavyweight. It's the easiest weight cut of my life. And I'm looking forward to, I'm really looking forward to getting back in that cage.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, before we had you on, Sam, we were about to talk about the BKFC event that took place last weekend. There was talks. I know I heard rumors about you and Luke Rockhold possibly getting matched up. Like you said, you've had plenty of guys turn down the fight. The money wasn't right with BKFC. Give us some information on that, how that all went down.
Yeah, I should say it wasn't that the money wasn't right. BKFC never offered me any money. We were kind of in talks, and then Russia came up. Russia went to BKFC saying, hey, we're looking for a 205er. BKFC said, Sam, if you want to fight now, Russia is available.
Yeah.
So then I started talking with Russia. Russia has been nothing but jerking me around for the last 6 months. So I'm kind of over them. Unless they want to pay, then I'll be on them again. But whatever. And so they didn't not pay me. It just never. We didn't get that far in the talks. And now that Luke Rockhold's in there, now that they're building their middleweight division, maybe their 205 division, I would love the opportunity to fight Mike Perry or Luke. After watching that fight, I think I'd rather fight Luke Rockhold. I'll take whoever they give me.
Yeah, I was just going to mention too. Like, did you watch the entire event, or what do you think of everything that happened with Luke? I've heard a lot of people talking about Luke going in. I mean, I know you said you picked Luke to win, but we all know Luke's style is like kind of been gauged on his ability to gauge distance and kick. You know what I mean? And going in there, Mike Perry's a dog. Like, Luke was getting in on it. He was landing some shots, but just the way the fight ended. Like, what's your thoughts and your take on what happened over there?
There's no denying Luke Rockhold is the better fighter. I mean, he is. He is beating the better fighters. He is. I mean, he can do more than Mike Perry can. But in bare knuckle boxing, it is a different animal. Luke got his teeth busted in 2 rounds. Perry is just that. I mean, everyone's calling him the dog, and I didn't believe it till I saw it. Mike Perry is that dog. He's the one that will step in there and get it done.
Yeah, that dude is the junkyard dog of BKFC, man.
Yeah.
So if I get the opportunity to fight Rockhold, I would love it. Mike Perry, I would love it. I'm just gonna, first win my fight I got coming up, and then I'll call out everyone.
You're gonna call him out right there at the B2 Fighting Series, right?
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I'm gonna get on that microphone. I'm gonna sell myself to the world. It's been too long since I've had that microphone.
I know, man.
Hell yeah.
We love you here, Sam. We love you, bro.
Yeah, and with the entire UFC career, though, Sam, I got to ask you, it's always been a question I've wanted to ask you. You fought plenty of top talent and the best dudes out there. What's one fight that you never got that may have been in talks, it got canceled, somebody pulled out? What's the one dude, the fight that you wanted?
Well, I mean, Shogun would have been a firefight. I just broke my hand during the camp.
Yep.
So I had to pull out, and it was very unfortunate. I hated that I did it. But my hand was in 2 pieces, and I had no choice. I would have loved the opportunity to go in there and have just a hell of a fight with him, but it never made its way into reality.
Yeah.
Who was your favorite opponent so far in your career?
The best fight I had was against Da Un Young. But the guy I liked fighting the most was Nate Marquardt. He was my coach on The Ultimate Fighter. He is one of the best men I've ever met. And I'm now that guy that says I got to fight my coach. And I won.
Yeah. Yeah, Nate Marquardt, because I live in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Okay.
And so Nate, would train out and live out here and train out there with Jackson Wink. And just seeing him in person this guy is just massive.
He's the strongest human being I've ever seen at 185 pounds. I mean, he's crazy strong.
Yeah, he is strong. That's pretty cool, man, that you were, you had that opportunity to fight him. It's one of those things that, like you said, I was able to fight my coach.
Yeah, I've got more fights than almost anyone on that. I've got more fights than most 3 fighters do. And I mean, you can combine the records, and I have more fights than that. And I'm one of those guys that got to fight his coach, so I'm pretty tickled about that.
And I got to ask you too, Sam. Also, since we last seen you in the octagon, there's been another thing, a big trend that's happening. UFC's pumping a lot of money into it. The slap series. I got to get your take on what do you think about the slap series when you first seen it come about? Like, not everybody was on board, and now it's kind of somewhat of a big thing. And what do you think about it? Do you know anybody?
I think it is the dumbest thing that's ever been. I won't fault anyone for doing it. I mean, if someone's going to pay you to get slapped in the face, well, whatever. I mean, but good God, you're just sitting there getting a hit. I mean, there's no talent to it. There's no skill to it. It's just hoping the other guy misses. It is the dumbest thing.
It's certainly entertaining on a Wednesday night.
What I think their game plan is they make great YouTube videos.
Yeah.
You just highlight it on YouTube and then just play the events and just play the slaps on YouTube. Then you don't have to know or care about anything in it. You just get to make the money off YouTube.
That's pretty much what it's all about, is the clicks. I think they had 13 million clicks on just one clip of somebody getting the shit slapped out of them.
Yeah, ridiculous. For enough money, I would do it, but it would have to be a lot of money.
Yeah. Not the $5,000 that they're paying these fighters.
No, it would have to be a lot more than that.
And a stipulation that says you always go first.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you want to piss me off, and there's not many ways to do it, but slap me. There's something in me that if I get slapped, it sets me off. And it is, the only thing I can think of that does it. My kid, he was like 2 or something, and he slapped me, and it wasn't intentional. He just slapped me. I hit him back, and it was like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. It was just instinctual. He smacked me. I smashed him. Nobody does that.
There's no mercy in this dojo.
Oh, I don't know what it is. I don't know what my parents did to me, but slapping me is the way to get on my bad side.
Oh shit. Okay. Good to know if we ever get to meet Sam that I will not, have an open palm coming straight at you.
Oh, it's on. It's on. I'm hitting back. My fist will be closed.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So besides, or Rob, go ahead, Rob.
Well, I was gonna ask Sam. I know your wife. She's their cage side. Helping you out and stuff. I'm assuming she's on board with you getting your face punched and you punching somebody else's face barehanded.
Yeah,
it's a brutal sport, but
we've looked at it, we've watched it, and we've done the research on it. It is far safer than MMA. It's far safer than boxing. It will lead to far more lacerations. I'm okay with that. I don't have to want them. I don't have to try and get them, but if I'm doing my job right, I don't get hit. But it's far safer than the other sports. And as far as training goes, I only have to train boxing, which makes training go a little more easily too. So maybe I'll get in there, but at the end of the day, I'm a prize fighter. Whoever offers me the biggest prize, that's who I'm going to go beat up.
Yep. Right on, man. That's awesome. Hey, you know what? Now that you're, able to fight anywhere, you can go and fight for Brave or fight for Rising. Even one championship. I'm here right now in Denver covering the one fight night. Their USA debut, and man, can they put on a show? Yeah.
It's weird that one does their first show at altitude. You'd think they'd go a little lower. Man, they put on a good show. I like one. I like some of their champions. Mighty Mouse might be the greatest fighter of all time between him and GSP for the number one spot. And that just I'm happy to see him moving over here.
So those are your pound for pound goats?
George St. Pierre's number one. Then we got Mighty Mouse number 2. We got Volkanovski number 3. We're going Aljo number 4 or number 5, or not Aljo, Aldo. Aldo number 5, and probably you got to put Khabib in there at number 4. It's hard to argue against a 29-0.
What about John Jones? What do you think of John Jones?
John Jones is
I love asking people that question.
There's no denying how good he is. There's no denying it. He is incredible, and he's beaten, all of the best in the world. He's been caught a few times with his hand in the cookie jar. And so the same reason I couldn't put Anderson Silva on the list. Anderson Silva got caught as well. And if you get caught, I'm not putting you on the GOAT list.
Yeah, there's never an episode that we never mention or not mention John Jones. That's just the trend that we have on the show, that we have to mention John Jones. If it's either the good, the bad, or the ugly, we still got to mention John Jones.
It's mainly the bad and the ugly, Roberto. Let's be fair here, dude.
Yeah, but then again, at the same time, Roberto and myself, Sam, we're here in New Mexico, in Albuquerque, and know guys that trained with John, and just know kind of like the understory. Let's say, let's leave it at that.
Yeah.
I'll post about it because as a fighter, I really am offended by people that cheat. I mean, whether it be eye pokes, groin kicks, injectables, or whatever, it really is offensive that they're willing to seriously hurt their opponent as opposed to beat them up. There is a difference, and it's just offensive to me that somebody would be so willing to do that.
Right.
Yeah. Have you ever came across John Jones? You ever had any interaction over the years?
I have not. No, the best I can say is I was there when he beat DC the second time, and he jumped up on that cage, and he looked out, and I swear to God, he looked right at me, and we kind of had a moment together. He was looking at everyone, but to me, his eyes like yeah, you're freaking awesome. And then 2 days later, USADA arrested him. It's like, well, okay, damn it. That might have been the moment. Like, I thought we had that special moment together, and then nope. No.
Oh, that's hilarious. It's like when you go to a concert and you think the singer is looking at you.
Oh, every time, all the time. I hate that, dude. Like, yeah, and then I always end up feeling like a dumbass because I'm like, man, I feel really dumb.
They weren't looking at us. They didn't even know who the hell they were looking at. Like, they just had this big old glare in their eyes with the light. Oh, and
hey, Sam, you mentioned Mighty Mouse as being one of your top guys. I definitely got to agree with you there. Rob's there going to be covering the event. It's a pretty historical event for one. Like you said, it's sort of questionable at altitude, but I know like Denver or Colorado, they kind of been adapting to rules set with the BKFC, and that's kind of a place where I guess one could pretty much just step up in there, and it's not going to be a problem for them to set up the event. But what's your take on the fight? I heard it's Mighty Mouse's last fight. I know it's a trilogy. It's good for one. What's what do you think? Mighty Mouse walked out on top, or what do you think? Mariah's a tough customer though.
I think if Mighty Mouse were to fight Francis Ngannou, Mighty Mouse would win. I think he is the only person I'd put ahead of him is GSP, and that's because GSP won 2 different belts after 5 years of retirement. Mighty Mouse is better than everyone everywhere. I'll never bet against him. That first, his one loss against Cejudo was a close fight. I probably agree, but it was a close fight. His one loss and one, it's a different rule set. I believe he got kicked in the head or kneed in the head while he was down. It's a different rule set. He wasn't ready for, wasn't training for, wasn't prepared for like he is now.
Yeah, and that's what Chaudhry was saying, during the press conference that, Colorado, the reason why they picked Colorado and not in Denver was because of the global rule set that they bring. And the commission is going forward with that and approving it. So that's why one was able to come here or to Denver,
right,
and be able to put on that event. So, he did mention too that they are planning to start bringing more events here in the States starting next year, and try to take over, man. I mean, one to me is probably the second is close to being, right there with the UFC.
Right.
Especially when you talk about talent, the talent that they bring and that who they have, it's tremendous.
It is. The one downside to one is they don't have wrestlers, and it's when they start introducing more Americans and more Russians and more. Well, those are the two that wrestle. They're going to start taking over the sport, and one stronghold is in it's overseas in the Asian market. They need to keep their Asian champions. They need to keep their Asian market. And as soon as wrestlers start coming in and showing them that wrestling is more important than Muay Thai or taekwondo or anything else. It'll change it. They'll see some backlash, I think.
Yeah, and a lot of the casuals, they really don't know much about one or any of the promotions that are out there, overseas. All they see is UFC. But having one come here and sell out their first day that they put their tickets out says a lot about what one is bringing.
How big is the stadium they're in?
6,500 people sold out.
Oh, wow, that's a good show.
Yeah, man. Bare Knuckle had their event there this past weekend.
Yeah.
They were struggling to sell tickets that they had to drop their ticket prices by 50%.
Oh, wow.
Just to get more people there, because that same night they had a regional promotion, had their event that same night. And because Denver is huge boxing, it's just, massive in the boxing. A lot of the boxers and their friends and family, they're going to support a lot of the local fighters out here and go to the local regional event and not go for BKFC. So
right.
Whoever scheduled that BKFC fight to go against the regional promotion, they didn't do their homework, and that's why they were struggling to sell out that event. Even bringing in Conor McGregor, the Juggernaut, the champ, the double champ, the caliber of fighters that they had on the card. It was a struggle, man.
After the success of this last card, I don't think they'll have a problem selling out again.
No, not at all. Yep. I've always wanted to ask, dude, have you ever been approached, or were you ever approached by the UFC to maybe be a commentator? I mean, you're like the most charismatic guy out there, bro.
No, they never talked to me about it. A lot of people say that. I do commentate with the B2 Fighting Series. I'm actually going out to Kentucky tomorrow to do just that. And it's a skill. And honestly, if the UFC were to have asked me to do it, I would have said yes, because I love the UFC and everything they do. But I would not have been as good at it as I am now. It's hard, because as a fighter, I'll admire the fight and I'll forget to talk, or I'll overanalyze it. It always bothered me about the ex-champions. They're all ex-champions. The little guy, Dominic Cruz. He always tried, when he talked and when he commentated, I always felt like he was talking down to the audience, like he was explaining stuff like, well, no, duh, guy. Now that I've done it, it's given me a new respect. I kind of do the same thing he does. Kind of talk through it. I may not be quite as down talking as he seems to be, but I kind of do it the same way. So I'm happy I'm getting some training. I'm happy I'm really thriving with the B2 series and learning how to do it real well, because who knows, maybe someday the UFC will call and I'll be able to say I'm in.
Yeah. Has anybody ever gone up to you and confused you for Paul Felder? Because I've told people that's Paul Felder's older brother.
Hey, not all gingers look alike. I get Bo Nichols. I get Ed
Nichols.
Paul Felder.
Wow.
Yeah, we're all different people.
Hey, yeah, just like Rob, Roberto gets mistaken for Chemo Leopoldo all the time. You know what I mean?
They're like, Chemo? No, I'm not Chemo.
Actually, without the beard, I kind of think you look like Mark Munoz a little bit.
Yeah. But I'm Mexican.
I'm just saying,
we all don't look alike.
You guys do. Munoz has got a shorter beard, but I saw it.
No.
It's a smile. You seem to be as happy as he is.
I am, man. I try to be happy all day, every day, man. Oh, that's awesome. So, talking about UFC commentary, who would be your dream team to commentate with?
Chael Sonnen
Okay.
And that's really it. You put me and Chael Sonnen together, we're good to go. We will have a blast. And you know what? I do like Michael Bisping. Michael Bisping's funny because he'll always say something, and like 30 seconds later, he'll say, "Oh, I guess I was wrong."
Or she'll say, "I didn't see that coming."
Yeah.
All night long, and I always get like, "Man, that dude never sees anything coming."
Oh,
But yeah, no, definitely you and Chael, that would be, I'm all in with that. Would love to hear it. And
I think it'd be so much fun. There's talk. Have you ever heard of Tough Enough?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Pro-Am card out of Vegas. There's talk that he and I are going to be commentating a card for them this upcoming fall, but we'll see what happens.
Wow.
I said yes.
Man.
I believe he said yes, but it's still months away, so we'll see what happens.
That would be cool. That would be super cool.
it's gonna happen. Yeah, I have a feeling.
Are you eating sour Skittles?
Yeah, how do you know that?
I don't know. I just had a feeling you're eating sour Skittles, man.
Yeah, man. I thought I was hiding. I mean, I knew it was man, like peanuts.
Those are awesome, man.
Oh, they're so good. Just discovered them to now.
Oh, dang, Rudy just call Sam out.
Hey, bro.
I eat what I want, son.
Yeah, no shit. I eat while we're interviewing people, man. I've been known to fucking munch burgers and shit. Remember Jorgen De Castro? He's like, "Are you eating burgers and berries, bro?"
Hey, and Sam, later in the show, we do always get to our picks and predictions for UFC cards, mostly UFC. We try to, I mean, this weekend, you definitely got to be a real fight fan. You got Canelo, you got Ryzen. You know, the UFC card is big stage, big fight for Henry Cejudo, Aljamain Sterling. You got Burns coming off, 3 weeks, coming back in there, Bilal Muhammad. Will you be tuning in? Do you watch the fights all the way through every card?
I tend to. Yeah. Don't tell UFC, but TikTok, I love TikTok. I'm all over it. There's always streams of fights on there.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
So I get on there, and a lot of time I'll just sit in bed. Now, I live in Tennessee now. It's a central time zone. The only good thing about California was fights started at 7. I loved it. Out here, they start at 9. It drives me nuts. I'm just up so late, but I watch everything I can, especially if there's a card I like. Like, I don't really care about the first 3 fights of the main card. At this point, I don't even know who's on them. I think Mitchell just got kicked off or hurt or something. But the co-main event, main event are awesome fights. Like, I'm leaning towards Cejudo to win, but he's given up a lot of size.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm leaning towards Burns to win, but I'm not sold on it. I might, my recency bias might be giving it to me for Burns. And so that's where I'm leaning on those. I will definitely be watching the co-main and main and probably reading the play-by-play of the other ones.
Yeah.
Nice.
And are you a big boxing fan too? Do you catch the Ryan Garcia Tank Davis fight, or will you be watching Canelo this weekend?
I watched the Garcia fight after it happened, so I watched it the next morning. But I don't follow boxing at all. I mean, here's how bad it is. I watched like 4 boxing matches, and 3 of them had a Paul brother in them. I love the sport. I practice the sport. I admire their skill because I do think it is the most efficient MMA striking style is boxing. I think is better than Muay Thai, Taekwondo, any of it. But I got too much to do to watch all the boxing fights too. I have kids, and it's too much.
Oh, it takes a lot of time, man. It takes a lot of time raising kids, man.
And plus, you're a coach, and you also have a farm too, right? What kind of animals do you have on that farm? I always see you posting about it too.
Yeah, so I've got I'm probably up to 15 goats or sheep. I've got like 60-something chickens, 2 horses, some geese, some duck. Just a nice little ranch.
Man, you're living the life out there, bro. I mean,
man.
that's what everybody should aspire to do.
I am busier than I ever thought I would be. I haven't been home today. I got up at 6 to get my kids to school, and I haven't been home yet. I'm right now. I'm at a baseball field watching my kid play.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for taking the time, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
To be
Yeah.
completely honest, I forgot about it, and I was just on my phone. I looked down and said, "Oh, it's." I forgot. I was supposed to be in Kentucky right now. It just earlier today stuff got switched. In Kentucky, I would have remembered. I would have had the wrong time zone, but I would have remembered in Kentucky. I would have been.
Oh yeah.
Stuff got canceled and pushed till tomorrow. So I'm here for you guys.
Yeah, no, awesome though, Sam. Thank you very much though for reaching out. I mean, we made it happen. I know there's some tech difficulties. We got a late start on the show, but yeah, man, a pleasure definitely having you on, making the time for Fight Book MMA. Always love over here at Sitting Ringside. We've done about 170 of these episodes. Had some great guests, man. It's been amazing having you on. I know the boys enjoyed having you on. And we've been off for 2 weeks, so coming back, having Smiling Sam on, definitely was a pleasure, my friend.
Hey, well, thank you guys for wanting me on. I love it. And if could I plug my YouTube channel for a second?
Absolutely.
Hell yeah, man. Plug your socials, plug whatever you want, man.
So I'm at Smiling Sam on everything. All my stuff. I love TikTok the most, but I'm getting into YouTube as much as I can because I'm old. But I just learned that YouTube is where you're supposed to make money doing stuff if you can do it. So I'm trying like crazy. I'm pushing for it. I've got over 80 fights professionally, and I've got a story from all over the world. So I'm putting my stories out there, doing fight breakdowns. I'm starting to really enjoy my YouTube channel. It's at Smiling Sam. The link's in my bio of all my other social media. Check it out. Watch a video or 3. And yeah, I'd love to grow with you guys.
Hell yeah, man. I will subscribe as soon as we're done with our show.
Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Hell yeah, man. Sam, like David said, thank you so much for jumping on, man. This was a pleasure and a long time coming because we've been wanting to get you on for the longest time, man.
Oh, I'm so happy it worked out. I thank you guys for having me on.
Yeah,
appreciate it, man.
Anytime you want, we'll get you back on.
Yeah, man.
I was gonna say, count me in.
Okay, right on, brother. Thank you so much,
Have a good rest of your night, guys.
Later, dude.
Yeah, thank you, Sam. Appreciate you.
Let's do this fucking shit.